6 o'clock, so let's stand for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll have a moment of silence. Tammy, will you do the roll call?
Clifford Adams.
Here.
Patty Anderson. Carrie Armaglass.
Here.
Sean Burke. Brady Fight.
Here.
Diane Page. Jeff Powell. Eric Sunley.
Here.
Kelly Florida.
Here. Thank you. We need to either waive the reading or read the minutes. You have the option of waiving it and approving the minutes from the June 13th workshop meeting and the June 20th voting meeting as attached, or we can choose to read them. So I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we waive the reading and approve the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Should we check to see if Patty's connecting, or was she connected?
Aaron got the Zoom link out.
Okay, we'll check it out before we keep going. We do have a quorum, so.
Yep.
While he's checking, I don't see any public participation unless they're hiding somewhere. So we have a presentation tonight. Brady is going to give us some info on his trip to Germany for PSBA. She enjoyed, okay. Yeah, or not as signal. Do you have slides?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna move, because I'll be in your way. Hey, John. Good, I'm gonna move, as I said, I'm ready. You gonna see around me?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so in April, back in October, I applied to go on an international studies group with the PSBA Trust. It's a different entity than PSBA. They said I had to say that, so cover the bases. So we put together a trip to look at different educational aspects across the country, and they chose Germany, so I applied to it, and I was selected to go as one of the 15 members. There was 10 board members, 2 superintendents, and 3 career technical center directors that went on the trip. The places, so the state we visited was North Rhine-Westphalia, and it's very similar to Pennsylvania in the sense of the coal and the steel history that happened and shaped the state into what it is today. We visited Bonn, Dortmund, and Cologne, and those cities are very similar to Pittsburgh with the steel industry history behind them. So a little bit of background about the educational system in Germany. Their version of kindergarten starts at first grade, so their preschool is actually kindergarten. So they start a year or two later than what we would with public education. And then they go through elementary school up until grade 4. And then after grade 4, during the summer, they have to choose sort of a career path almost. Whether they want to go to a high school that's geared towards going to college, high school is geared towards going to vocational school and working with your hands out in the field. And then most recently, within the past 10 years, they started creating a hybrid school where students could choose to go to a school that focuses on college and the vocational aspect of it. And then, so they go, if you go through the gymnasium route, which would be the high school that's geared towards college, you go until grade 10. Everybody graduates at grade 10 then in Germany. Then you go for 3 more years to university. Grade 13 then is when you would graduate from university. There is a separate school for special education students as well, but not mainstreamed in with the general education students. So that's a little bit different how they do that. In the past couple of years, especially since COVID, they're starting to make hybrid schools and blend them into general education. But there's a lot of pushback from community members and cities there as well. So the federal government, it creates curriculum for the 16 states, sort of like here in America. There's certain laws you have to abide by. And again, politics affects everything in Germany as it does here too. That's one of the resounding things that everybody was passing the issue along. It's not their problem, it's this government's issue, it's this government's issue. So the state government assigns teachers to schools, and they are considered a civil servant. So the state will hire them, and then they send them to a school that they think needs them. The school district has no choice in hiring or firing any teachers at all. Teachers there are employed part-time. There are hardly any full-time teachers there. They take on roles as IT personnel, guidance counselors, mental health support. Local municipality is in charge of the brick and mortar for the buildings. So like here in Foxburg, the borough of Foxburg would be in charge of the facility and all the upkeep of the facility. Big issue they're running into now, especially since COVID, who's in charge of the internet and hardwiring stuff in there, the routers, the computers, everybody's sort of going back and forth. That was a big controversy when we were there trying to figure out who's in charge of what and where the funding's going to come from to support those programs. So some of the highlights that we saw over there, students are starting to have the opportunity to move between high schools that are geared towards colleges or high schools that are geared towards what we consider career and technical centers. The technology is becoming a lot more available, especially in the rural parts of the country over there. They're really honing in and focusing on the artificial intelligence technology and trying to use it to their advantage and trying to get ahead of the curve to set precedents for it, to make it usable and user-friendly in schools. And the teacher training over there takes 6.5 to 7 years to complete, and every teacher over there earns a master's degree before they're allowed to go into their classroom. They do what we would consider student teaching for 1 to 2 years before they put in their classroom and by themselves.
Are they paid for that free?
In some cases they are, and some they're not. It just depends where they're at. They are giving a living stipend, so they can have an apartment and get food, but it's very minimal. I mean, to create any profit off of it is not common. So a big push that they're doing, especially since COVID over there, is a mental health support. It was virtually non-existent before COVID happened, and they saw a lot of issues and things that came about from COVID, so that's really what they've been gearing towards for the past couple of years, is how to address that, how to fix those problems, and help create solutions to those. Over there in Germany, if you want to hire a guidance counselor, you have to get rid of a teacher. Through the funding formula they have, you can only have X amount of employees, so if you feel you need 3 social workers, you have to get rid of 3 teachers in order to accommodate those. So some of the challenges they're facing over there is attendance. When we spoke with a teacher over there at a high school that's geared towards the university track, and she said the biggest issue they're having in her area were students were staying home to take care of their parents because they are having severe physical and mental conditions that the kids have to take care of their parents. So, trying to get the kids to stop being a caretaker and come into the school is kind of hard because the kids will stay home to take care of their parents. How do you address that issue? And as we're seeing since COVID too, some of the basic skills and socialization skills of students are definitely trending downwards. That's an issue they're seeing over there as well. Teacher shortages. Teacher shortages are everywhere over there. They're trying to relax the requirement for master's degrees. They're trying to go back down to the equivalent of a bachelor, but the federal government is pushing really hard against that. The diversity in schools is increasing. So when students go into schools, in elementary school, they learn 2 primary languages. We visited a couple schools over there, and all the students spoke English very fluently. They spoke German, they can speak Mandarin, Chinese, Japanese, a lot of Israeli, Arabic languages over there from the war over Ukraine and Russia. There are refugees coming over to Germany, so there's a lot of fluent natives speaking those languages over there as well. So some ideas that we put together as a group, and it's just 4 or 5 of us that we're really focusing on the career and technical center path. So these are some ideas that we found to sort of gear towards that. Definitely adding additional mental health support would be beneficial, and working to accommodate non-native speakers here in America. And just not really push too hard to learn a second language, let alone be fluent in it in elementary school. So that's definitely somewhere we can explore to help diversify ourselves. So some career pathways, elementary schools invite career speakers to do projects, and So that top bulletin there was an individual from would be the equivalent of our conservation district that came in and spoke with the kids. And she had samples of different soils and sands and rocks. And the kids walked across them barefoot to get a feel for them because where they were at, they had no parks. They had nothing. It was just concrete everywhere. So there were some kids that never felt, rocks on the side of the ocean or sand on the beach. The kids were really excited about that. And one of the classrooms that we were able to go to it and visit for a little bit. Apprenticeship programs over there start in 10th or 11th grade and they last for 2 years. So the students are required to go to school for 30% of the time. They're required to work in their field 70% of the time. They apply with the companies, and the companies hire them. The companies abide by the federal regulations to make sure they are meeting the requirements for their educational process. Most CTE education programs include internships and schooling, like I said, and the fields that the students can study over there for a CTC track is a lot more diversified than what we have here. The one classroom we visited over there had a preemie NICU set up, they had a robotic surgical room set up, and it was solely to train technicians how to fix the equipment when it breaks in the operating room. So it was really interesting to see that. Another area that we're really pushing hard on is smart homes. Turn on your lights and open your blinds and lock your doors with an app on your phone. They have labs dedicated to creating, maintaining, and developing that type of technology. So that was our trip over there. We were there for a week. We had a lot of fun. We learned a lot of stuff. Definitely got to see a lot of interesting things over there. So I appreciate the board and the district's support and allowing me to go there. And in October, hopefully, I'll be going to the PSBA conference in the Poconos, and a group of us will be presenting about the CTC tracks and some information we found over there and how we can expand and improve our CTCs here in Pennsylvania. At your seat, there's little gummy bears. We visited one of the original Airbo gummy bear stores in Germany over there. So we'll see. Thank you.
Why did they choose Germany, out of curiosity?
We asked the same question, and they had it between Germany and one of the countries that were in each, I can't remember what, but they said it was easier to line up a tour guide in Germany, the dates worked out better for them.
And another country. Okay, so do we have any board concerns this evening? Okay, not hearing any, we're gonna move on to the consent agenda. If you would take a look at the consent agenda and decide or let us know if there are any items you would like to vote on separately, or we can vote on the whole agenda as is. Is there anything anybody wants pulled? Okay, not hearing anything. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Anything you would have a discussion on? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll move on to finance and purchase. Patty's not here tonight, so I'm gonna ask John, would you walk us through finance and purchase?
I'm actually on, but my service is not good.
Okay,
Sure, can I go A through?
we usually lump A through G.
Consideration to approve A through G under finance and purchase.
Second.
So moved.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion of any of those bill paying items? Okay, not hearing that. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
And see Stacy here today.
Just one update from the cafeteria, John, I'll share it with you. The school nutrition programs at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania would like to notify everybody that they will begin a free school breakfast program media campaign in the near future. They'll make awareness to the community in late August. So that's something that's going to be very beneficial for the students here at AC Valley as well. That's all we got from the cafeteria, John.
Okay, thank you, David. Letter I, consideration to approve to waive fees for the youth football program for the 2024-2025 season due to planned football field maintenance. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? They're contributing about $5,000 for lights and painting on the field.
Yep.
So they asked if they could we could waive their fees because of the amount they're contributing, so I thought that would be a good idea. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
And letter J, consideration to approve the fee letter from Zach Shekel Esquire for solicitor services for the 2024-2025 school year as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, we're going to break for an executive session for personnel reasons before we get into this part of the agenda. So that just leaves a couple of you here by yourself, and we'll be back. Thank you folks for waiting on us. And at this point, we're going to move into personnel. I'm going to ask Carrie to take care of that for us.
Sure. Letter A, consideration to approve hiring William Streck on receipt of all appropriate paperwork as a third grade teacher at a salary of $50,440 beginning with the 2024-25 school year. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Letter B, consideration to approve hiring Christina Best upon receipt of all appropriate paperwork as a fifth grade teacher at a salary of $72,790 beginning with the 2024-25 school year. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Letter C, consideration to approve hiring Lauren Allworth upon receipt of all appropriate paperwork as a fifth grade teacher at a salary of $53,940 beginning with the 2024-2025 school year. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Letter D, consideration to approve hiring Timothy Bach for the vacated position of 7th through 12th grade social studies teacher at WSTU in Ellington at a first year salary of $59,790. With future salary increases to be negotiated with the AC Valley Education Association. This position is approved as 183 days, being Monday through Thursday for a school year dating from August 1st of each year to the following June 30th. This position is hired contingent upon the continued need and operation of WSTU. This position shall further be contingent on the individual executing a consent and acknowledgement to a future decrease in salary in the event the individual's employment changes to a position with lesser pay. All other terms of the agreement between the AC Valley School District and the AC Valley Education Association effective July 1st, 2023 shall apply to this position. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter E, due to the withdrawal from her intent to, or interest in transitioning to the special education teaching position at WSTU, we are making a motion to remove this from the agenda. Is that what I need to say? So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
The next one would be consideration to advertise for a special education teacher at WSTU for the 2024-25 school year. So
Do we want that there or under new business?
Either. I don't
Okay.
think it matters.
so good with the motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve letter of resignation of junior high golf coach from Steve Whitmer. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve advertising for the vacated junior high golf position. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve letter of resignation as cross-country coach from Ashley Root. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
And finally, consideration to approve advertising for the vacated cross-country coach position. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, we're on to instructional services. Cliff, would you do that?
Yeah. Elementary board?
So my report basically centers around the handbooks that are listed there, so I'm just gonna talk about some of the updates to the handbooks for this year. Kind of gotta go in reverse there. The cyber services handbook, as well as the transportation handbook, basically just had date changes, to update everything for this coming school year. There were no real changes to that. The only other one in the cyber service one was it said that we would use the grading scale in grades K through 3, and I asked Mrs. Raybuck why that said that, and it didn't include 4, 5, 6. And she said that was clear back from another principal, and she never understood why, so we just changed it to the grading scale, and she just K to 6, because we use that same grading scale K through 6. So very minimal changes to those two. There is a change in the elementary handbook that I want to make you aware of, and then obviously I'll have to make the community aware of it as well. On page 2 of my handbook, we talk about arrival and dismissal times. Currently, our late bell up till this school year was 8:15. So students could arrive as late as 8:15 and still be counted as on time. The issue that a lot of the teachers expressed is that our instructional day starts at 8:20. So that gives them very little time to do like attendance and lunch counts and just that getting ready to get the day started stuff in the morning. And our bus students get off the bus at 7:40. So it's a whole 35 minutes later that we can still have students straggling in. So they, some of them had mentioned to me, like, is there any way we can tighten that up? So what I changed in here was making that late bell 8 a.m. That way we get everybody in here. Because kids come in and they eat breakfast right away. So if those kids aren't getting here until 10 after 8, and then they want breakfast, that rushes them and puts them getting late up to their classroom. So hopefully with an 8 o'clock late bell, we can tighten that up a little bit and get everybody fed and up to the rooms and ready to go by 8:20. Get all the counts in. So that means on page 2, I had to change that to, we want to ensure that students are at school by 8 a.m., which formerly said 8:15 a.m. Other than that, nothing else changed. The instructional day still begins at 8:20 and ends at 2:53. Buses begin dropping off out back at 7:40. So that's all the same. We do allow parents to begin dropping students off at 7:30 because we have adults staffing the cafeteria to monitor those kids for those 10 minutes before our teachers come on duty to take that over. And then what we do on page 3 talk about excessive tardies will result in lunch detention. So the reason I need to make it very clear to the community that we are changing that late bill from 8:15 to 8 is they will be considered tardy after 8 o'clock. So we have to make sure that families are aware. So my plan is to, we'll do an all-call, put it on the website and Facebook page, and then in those first 3 days, I'll send a letter home in their backpacks as well to make sure that every family's been aware. And obviously, we're not going to count tardies in those first 3 days until we're sure every family is aware that the new late bill will be 8 o'clock. So that's the biggest change, and that is the only change in the staff handbook. So in the staff handbook on, I think it's their 3rd page of their staff handbook, where it talks about student arrival and dismissal, I updated the time in there from 8:15 to 8 a.m. as well. I think
What time do the teachers have to be here?
they go on duty at 7:40.
Okay.
And the only other change in the the student handbook, is on page 6. I added Acadian's math, because it only talked about Acadian's reading, which was formerly our Dibbles. And we've begun using the Acadian's math as well, so I just added that to our list of tests. And other than that, there are no other changes to any of my handbooks. And I know that you're looking to approve the musical events, and I talked with Mrs. Lowry, and she met with Mr. Green, our new band director, to come up with those dates. And then just today, she asked if they could meet with me to sit down and go over some things for the coming year. So looking forward to getting all these new staff members on board and meeting them and welcoming them to our building. And that's all I have today.
Do you guys have a day where you bring them in earlier? The new hires?
New staff orientation.
Yeah.
Day.
Well, we've never had so many new hires at once, so.
Might be a good idea this year.
I mean, they all
Get them
come.
with the tech and set up so that it's not such a big, that's gonna be a lot of people to get oriented on the first day of school, or, first in service day.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll be in before that, but it would be maybe a good idea to plan a day that.
I mean, we can't force it if we're not paying, but I'm sure if they, they'd be very interested, because make their life easier if they're in here ahead of time and get access to everything.
More of an invite than a requirement.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right. Consideration to approve the 2024-2025 elementary staff handbook as attached, so moved.
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve 2024-2025 elementary handbook as attached, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the 2024-2025 elementary cyber services handbook as attached, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the 2024-2025 musical events for the AC Valley Elementary Band and Chorus and the high school choir for the 2024-2025 school year as attached, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
No secondary report tonight. Consideration to approve the 2024-2025 fundraising calendar as attached, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
David, do you have the West View report at all?
Just the two items that are out there in front of you this evening, Cliff, just that modification, so we have 180 school days for the students, and then just a change to the West 2 student handbook, and that's just a change in graduation requirements for the AC Valley West 2 diploma. In addition to that, Cliff, they are having a Meet the Teacher Day on July 31st, so I reached out to our teachers, and they want to have kind of a welcome back the day before August 1st, which will be the first start of the day. So we'll be up there with all of our staff and working with their staff to try to generate some excitement around the new school year.
How are we with the installation of all the new tech?
We're moving in that direction. Our technicians, Aaron and Jeff, will be up there tomorrow morning at 9:30 to help finalize some of that, to get the CAD lab set up. But they've been up there working on it, and it's pretty amazing. Once we have the program set up, we'll have to do a tour of the facility and, get to see the equipment in place.
Thank you. Consideration to approve the corrected 180-day Westview 2024-2025 calendar as attached, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the 2024-2025 Westview student handbook as attached, so moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Andrew, can I have the federal program reports?
I don't have anything to report, but Kristen has a report after. Is it everybody's books?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a federal programs reports there.
Thank you. Dave, the district report?
Yes, Cliff, just a couple updates on the budget that was just recently passed, which is good news. We're still unpacking everything, but for the time being, we're aware that the basic ed funding has been increased by $225 million from the 23-24 school year. Hold harmless base amount for all school districts has been increased $60 million, which is good news as well. Special education funding went up $100 million as well, which is still not enough to provide the needed support for the students, but it's a step in the right direction. The PCCD mental health and physical safety grants combined $120 million still in the budget. I think roughly about $100,000 per school district, similar to years past. There is money in the budget to support student teacher. It's a $20 million budget line item, which is up $10 million from the 23-24 school year to help to promote and attract teachers in Pennsylvania. CTE funding went up $25 million, which there's still a need for increased support for those programs. Good news on this side, pupil transportation went up $109 million from last year. And then also we're seeing some cyber school reform, which is a good thing. We're going to be able to report the amount that we're spending to PD through the 363 form, which we've used in the past, and they're going to reimburse school districts a percentage. And we're still trying to get that figured out, but it used to be, I think, roughly 16%. They're looking at 19%, so more to come on that. They do have $100 million in there for cyber tuition reimbursement. So the school districts like AC Valley will be reimbursed. Even though they're not changing the tuition rate to the cyber programs, they're going to reimburse us a little bit. A couple other reforms which we're moving in the right direction. Any kind of media advertisement, they're no longer permitted to put down the false information that it's free. They have to put down that the cost for this advertisement is covered by taxpayer money. In addition to that, every cyber and charter school has to have a board of governors, and they cannot be related to people working within the district. There has to be 5 non-related voting members for all boards that are elected. Also, PDE is requiring that each cyber charter school submit their operating budget so that they can review it and have documentation to it, which is also a good thing. And the other give and take on that piece of it is they've increased the EITC tax, that's the voucher program, from $470 million to $552 million. So they were able to push and pull. They said there was a lot of good collaboration in Harrisburg for everybody that was in attendance. And then finally, there's a piece of legislation in there for school safety and security personnel that required each school entity to have at least 1 full-time school security personnel, which, we'll continue to learn more about that, but we are in compliance with Officer Sittler. And then finally, I did break down the budget. The preliminary numbers look like AC Valley will be receiving just over $319,000 additional dollar more than what we did for the 23-24 school year. So we're moving in the right direction, I guess, with the budget. So kudos to everybody else in Harrisburg. So Cliff, that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Consideration to approve the 24-25 Allegheny Clarion Valley School District Health and Safety Plan as attached. So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to improve mobile dental services for 24-25 school year with the Big Smiles Dental Program. Date to be determined. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve health services of Clarion Incorporated / Dr. Joseph Leonard as school doctor for 2024-2025 school year. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the enrollment, class size data, and staff for the 23-24 school year dated July 1, 2024 as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
We don't have student board rep tonight. Can I have the school police report, please?
I haven't been here for a month. I had a hearing, one of the students in high school. Other than that, that's all.
Thank you. Are we getting some new student board representatives for the school year?
Dr. Jordan's working with the student council on that.
Okay.
Okay, we have no policy. We have no facilities. So we'll move on to transportation. Brady, could you do that for us?
Sure. Consideration to approve the 24-25 transportation handbook is attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve hiring Mr. Myers. Rick Myers. Upon receipt of all appropriate documentation and an interview with the administration as a bus contractor with the district for the vacated Turkey City, St. Petersburg area, former bus 4 route beginning with the 24-25 school year. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve the request from Pam Myers, Myers Transportation, to remove a 2012 Honda Odyssey 4918 and add a 17 Honda Pilot 0162 to her fleet. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Did you have anything to add for facilities, James?
Not much, we had some work to the maintenance garage that was completed, domestic boiler was repaired to elementary, 2 rooms did get new carpet, and then just waxing floors and, working on waxing the trees.
I saw the garage the other day, the new paint job was really nice.
Yep.
Okay, would you do miscellaneous for us, Eric?
A career center report.
So at the last meeting, we approved to run new Cat 5 wire for a PA system, clocks and speakers and stuff like that. And I think part of that at the Career Center is also going to include the digital readout in the classroom so students can see what's being announced as well as hear it. There was something else in that package, David, wasn't there, that was that's different than,
I don't recall.
there was something else, I forget what, but so we approved to get that. The current technology we have in that position is close to 20 years old. So we definitely decided it's time to update to the point that some speakers aren't working. So instead of trying to hodgepodge old and new together, we decided to just go new and start fresh there. We have a couple openings at the Career Center. So if anybody's looking for some employment, I believe there's a custodian for night shift and a cosmetology position that we're advertising for right now. Anything else, David?
You covered it.
Minutes are attached.
Yep.
Intermediate report.
We had a fairly lengthy meeting. I was trying to remember all that we went over. I think the biggest thing was we approved all the program, individual program budgets, which were so complex with the IU, so many different budgets, that all funneled through the IU. So those were all approved. Got an update from Sean on, the parking lot paving project, which was going to be a huge undertaking. We got some bids, and so we discussed that and came up with a plan of action to move forward with the paving project. We're in a really good spot with our personnel. We've hired quite a few new staff, probably the lowest number of vacancies in the last while that I've seen at the IU. So filling lots of positions. We approved the health and safety plan as well. Sean went over that in detail with us in executive session. And we will not have a July meeting. We'll reconvene in August.
We just have the auditor's report for the local taxpayers that are at your desk. There's no fines or anything. Everything seems to be moving in the right direction.
Technology committee update?
We haven't met.
Athletic committee? Okay.
I'll just take the lead on it. We did have our joint collaborative meeting to discuss home football games. There's some work that needs to be done, but we're hoping to potentially have one football game here at home, maybe late in the season. James is going to do some work in the field. We'll continue to collaborate. We'll reach out to the opposing school to see if they'd be willing to come up and watch. We also talked about bringing the joint athletic committee meeting or members together so that we could all walk the field as well. So there's still a lot of discussion.
I'd like to thank Brady because he's going to bring some equipment down and do some work on the field in the hopes that we can maybe fix some of the things that the coaches were concerned about.
Do we have a finance committee update?
We did.
Okay, do we have any old business? Okay, under new business, we need a motion to look at getting an interim principal at Westview. Somebody would like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion that we advertise.
Yes.
Yes.
So we advertise for an interim principal at Western Secure Treatment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We are going to end this meeting. We'll have a vote to adjourn, but we're also then going to break to go to an executive session for a short time. Do I have a motion to?
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? Aye. I'm not even going to ask if anybody's opposed.